So we're going to focus on SolidWorks PDM now and some changes to the product offering in this year's release. So firstly, the retirement of Workgroup PDM as a tool has been announced by SolidWorks. So there's no change in availability in the 2016 and 2017 releases. The main difference here is that an end-of-life message will be added to any Vault installations that you make. Just awareing you to the fact that the product is due to be retired. That's actually going to happen in terms of support on the 31st of December in 2018, with the product no longer available in the 2018 release of SolidWorks. If you need any more information about this, then please get in contact. But we're going to focus now on the tool that's being introduced to replace it. And this is a tool called SolidWorks PDM Standard. So it's a new product offering based on the SolidWorks Enterprise PDM tool. The Enterprise PDM tool has now been renamed to be PDM Professional to bring it in line with everything else. PDM Standard will be included with SolidWorks Professional and Premium. It's a robust data management tool with an easy upgrade path to the PDM Professional. It uses Windows Explorer as its interface, which means, Windows Explorer is a tool we're all familiar with. Therefore, we have a fairly low learning curve for this tool. So who's it for? So anybody who's currently using Workgroup PDM, it's a great new tool for you. Also, if you're a single site SolidWorks customer not using PDM, this can be a good fit. And if your main need is only to manage SolidWorks and draft site files. So we're going to take a look at the tool now. If I just access the Vault on my computer, so I've got one locally installed here, you'll see I have a Windows Explorer window in front of me. There are some additional columns on here which can be customized to show key information about certain things. But if I browse one of these folder structures, you'll see it's no different to what we're used to generally with Windows Explorer. The main principal difference is the window here towards the bottom. So if I select a file, for example, I can see a preview of that file in eDrawings inside the Windows Explorer interface. I can see key information on a data card here as well. We'll just come back to some of these other tabs in a moment, but if I just return to the root of my Vault, if I have any folders that exist outside of PDM at the moment, it's just a question of copying and pasting those into my Vault, and they're now in there. Now these will be available to me as a user, but if I want to make the files available for everybody within my project team or company, I'd need to check the files into the Vault. So just on the right click here, I can check those files in. You'll see that it brings us up a nice window here, and it shows that the system is reference aware within SolidWorks. So it knows this particular component has a drawing, this drawing contains an assembly, and all the components that go in to make that assembly as well. So we're going to check those files in, again just to make them available on our system. If we take a look at the assembly file here, we can see any versions of that file that are available. And also a Bill of Materials tab shows us all the components and quantities that go in to make that assembly. If we're looking at a particular component here, we can view a Where Used tab to show where it's used. So it's telling me that that's used within the assembly is used within the drawing, and that part also contains a drawing. So let's say we want to make an edit to that file. I'm going to need to check out each of those 4 files available on the Where Used tab. So I'm just going to check those out, and you'll see it shows me that information available on that screen, and they're now checked out by me. So I'm going to open up the assembly file, and it's going to open that up in SolidWorks for me. So it does carry its own add-in available on the right hand side, which again shows us key information about the files. I'm just going to open up this component here, and we'll just bring that tab out again, and we'll make a couple of changes to this. So we'll just alter this dimension to 30mm. So that part is now revised. I'm going to save that. We'll open the drawing for that file as well and ensure that drawing's up to date. Save that. if we return to our assembly is now up to date, and we'll just ensure the drawing is up to date here as well. So I've updated 4 files. Again, to make those edits available to somebody else, I'm going to select the drawing and use the check-in button. So it knows that the drawing's changed, the assembly's changed, the part and the part drawing have changed. So I'm just going to make a comment here. And you can see that the version number for each of those files has increased to 2. So if we return to our window here and just refresh that page, we can see I've now got 2 versions. And you can also access any previous versions if you need to by using the Get Version tool. So it's a really well integrated tool that's actually been on the market for a very long time with the SolidWorks Enterprise PDM product. I'd like to just focus on the benefits over Workgroup for a moment. So within Workgroup we control the flow of documents using this page shown on the left hand side, which can be very confusing from an administration perspective, specifically if you've got life cycles enabled. Within PDM Standard and PDM Professional we use a workflow system which is very visually based, very much like a process flow chart to show us the control and direction of a document through an approval process or engineering change. If you are interested in some more detail on PDM Standard or the PDM Professional products, then please do get in contact with us and we can talk about any migration or upgrade planning that you may need to do. You could also refer to some of our other videos available on the Enterprise product in general, which will give you a much better overview of the tool.